Hello, YouTube. This is FoxHawk Gaming with a Rogue One spoilers discussion. So we can talk about all the things that we wanted to talk about, but couldn't in the main review.
Yeah, there's a lot.
There's a lot. So the main one that I know I wanted to talk about was the Vader scene. So Darth Vader is in this movie, and his scene is insane.
Yes.
Just, it's a lot of action, but the atmosphere it gives, like... Vader is definitely one to be feared. Yeah.
And it's like, oh,
when you don't see it coming, and all of a sudden you just see this red glow in a rebel ship, and then you're like, wait, is this happening? And then Vader, he's using the Force,
and he just freaking decimates like 20 dudes.
Yeah, he goes through a lot of rebels.
It reminds Madara's scene in Naruto.
Oh, Madara's scene in Naruto.
Like, yes. He doesn't even do any jutsus. He's just like taijutsuing right through like 50 people.
He's just going through everyone. Yes. Yeah. Vader was just...
He forces a dude on the ceiling. He's just like, you hang out there. And he cuts him as he's walking by. And he's like, meh.
Yeah, and chokes some people, cuts them all, reflects it.
This is the Vader everybody wants and should have its own movie. But they did.
The best part is this is a very stressful scene because the guy... They have the Death Star plans, and they're trying...
you feel like you're like, this is tense. You're like, are they going to get it? I know they're going to get it, but are they going to get it? This is really intense.
It switches to a horror movie out of nowhere.
It's like, that's a good, like the guy's coming to get him.
It's not just Vader killing a bunch of dudes. It's everything. It's good directing. It's everything. It's like a horror movie.
And then it just leads straight into New Hope. Like,
I
mean, It could be 5 minutes. It could be like a day before Vader found Leia again. But I mean, it's right. The movie starts right then.
Yeah, and it's definitely cool because in how all of it ties together. A New Hope is when like the major conflict between the rebels and the Imperials start. Because before,
this was like kind of like initiating like the war.
Yeah, this was the initiation of the war.
The Rebels Alliance was like, nah, we ain't doing that. That's stupid. Unless it's like 100%. And they're like, this will start a war if we do this. And it's like, wait, aren't they already in a war? But no, they're literally... I think the Empire at this point was just kind of like, putting their foot in the door. And they were like, we don't really like that. So we're going to make our own thing. And they haven't really initiated war yet.
Yeah,
But at this, definitely, they're war now.
The way I see it is that the Empire already established itself. They did away with the Republic, and now they're just figuring out how to seize control even further.
Those little factions. Yeah. And that's why they probably make a planet destroyer. So, like, we can't find them. We'll blow them all up.
Yeah, well, I mean, a big deal is that the Senate's still intact. Throughout the galaxy. So there is still some sort of a representative system for the people, but we know that after A New Hope, once they have the Death Star, all that goes out the window. They destroy Alderaan. Yep. Like, they can just annihilate what remains of representative government and absolute control. So there's a lot of cool politics, a lot of, like, real freedom fighter feelings there at the end. Like,
the whole battle was so great because it was like you weren't having a space battle. Like, like typically the space battles and anything on the ground are separated. This was like, it's like it was all everything, the ground, air, and space, and it was just like this whole battle is happening in 3 dimensions instead of just like it's like these people are fighting. These people are fighting. These people are fighting. And it's like they were like all connected, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
Like, you could see the Star Destroyers above you. Like if you were on the ground, you could see all this. Like they were just barely above the atmosphere, and it was. And that was all great.
And the ground troops really depended upon them breaking through in space. Yeah. So it wasn't like in Episode 1, like you're watching the Darth Maul scene, you're like, and then it cuts away to Anakin, and you're like, damn it. And then Jar Jar's like, no.
Jar Jar.
Jar Jar, no. You're invested in all of it. This is a full-on conflict. Troops are in specific places for a reason.
It was very... It was
it was
the tactics and everything. It was all good.
It was very clean how they did it.
I think you said you liked the fact that they all died at the end.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
I like the way they died at the end.
I was like, the whole time I was like, they're gonna die at the end, but I just couldn't see how. And then they're like, freaking warp to the planet with the Death Star. I was like, oh, Death Star can warp.
Yeah, and Death Star can warp.
When you're looking either down on the ground and they're looking in space, and you just see it go, woof, and it's like the size of the moon, but way even closer.
Yeah,
and it's like, oh shit! And then the general, credits, something like that.
Yeah,
the white general.
Yeah,
he was like, oh fuck.
Yeah,
he
yeah,
knew exactly what was happening.
Yeah, there were a lot of different things that I really liked about that scene.
It was just intense.
Yeah,
great view.
One thing is that the movie wraps you up so much in that they got to transmit these Death Star plans, but the whole time, you don't stop and think what's their way out.
Oh, I was.
Yeah,
I was like, maybe they don't die. Maybe they get a way out, but then the Death Star.
Yeah, as you get closer towards the end, it becomes very clear that they don't have a way out, but that's part of the heroism that made me like Jin and Cassian's ending.
Yeah. The robot.
Oh yeah, the robot. I forget about him, honestly.
I liked his ending.
He was good.
He's such a kind of a dick, and it's like, wow, the dick had a heart.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a sucker for that kind of stuff. Like Ron Swanson on Parks and Rec. Anytime he shows emotion, I'm like, oh man, that was really nice of Ron Swanson.
It was intense.
Yeah, it was intense because it's him.
Because it's
revealing his emotions. That's kind of how I felt.
Oh yeah, we need to talk about plot hole closing. The Death Star. People are always asking, why did they have the ventilation shaft that just has a... Oh, is that what you're going to say?
No.
Oh.
That's why I was like, I'm going to check if you're on the same page. Okay, you're not.
Okay, yeah. Why they have the self-destruct shoot, you just shoot missiles down, and people for a long time been like, well, it's a ventilation shaft, you need...
Oh, they were making up crap.
You need ventilation. Yeah, because people try to explain it. Yeah, I mean,
the plot holes to make the movie bad, like the edgy people or whatever.
Yeah, like the edgy people are like, why'd they have that button? And people are like, well, they need ventilation because it's a giant laser cannon.
Was a guy did it on purpose.
Yeah.
Makes it a lot better.
The chief engineer.
That was actually way better way of tying up that loose end.
It was a cool way, and it kind of really fit in with that theme of like the gray between the whole good and evil, which is different because usually you have the light side and the dark side in these movies, but there were a lot of gray areas. Jin's dad.
Yeah, even like the good guys were like, Cassian, like he kills the dude right at the beginning. Like you're like, oh,
yeah, like
good guy.
Yeah, like in this there were some rebels that did some real dark side stuff. One even says there is no hope when debating against Jin whether they should go after the Death Star. So
and then like the pilot
really dark.
The
Imperial pilot.
Like, oh, that's a thing. Oh my gosh, that made me think. Like, you know how like some of them are recruits?
Yeah.
Like these are all just normal dudes. Like they're not clones. It makes you start like. These people, like, they're always in suits, so you never think about it.
Yeah.
And I think that's why, I read an article a long time ago, and that's why the Empire lost, is because they're shooting people that, copies of people.
Yeah.
It's easier morally for them to kill, and that's why, and it's harder for these guys to kill them because they're seeing people. Yeah. Nobody likes killing people, even in war. Yeah. So it's harder to, like, because in real war, people would like shoot above their heads just so they don't seem like a coward and they're actually fighting. They would just shoot randomly so they don't kill people.
That's actually a real thing. So yeah, that's actually a pretty reasonable theory.
So I'm thinking like these guys are real guys and all these guys are dying, and it made a darker movie. It
made it really a darker movie just because you don't really know where the good guys are and where the bad guys are.
Yeah, and the whole pilot thing, that's where I was going.
Yeah, the pilot.
These guys are just normal dudes. Like, they're just joining. It's like joining the army, and if you join the army and the United States started doing crap like really bad stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, wait, I don't want to be a part of this.
Yeah.
And it's like there's people still in there, but some of them are scared to leave, and it's like that's more gray. The whole point is it's adding to your gray comment. Like the pilot defected, her dad.
Yeah.
Those engineers that were involved probably didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
But like you don't know who's good and evil in this movie at all, really, except like pure Nazis and like Darth Vader. They're obviously
the interesting part is that it really does a good job of saying space Nazis because there's only a couple of people in this. Yeah, there's only a couple of people in the Empire in this one that don't really suffer through it all. Like the Empire affects everyone negatively. Yeah. It's very aggressive towards citizens. They even blow up one of their own cities just because they can for test purposes.
I don't know if that was their own city.
Yeah.
He said it was their city.
Yeah, Tarkin said that they got all the troops out of there.
For the... What do they call it? Kyber crystals? Yeah,
they were essentially mining almost what looked like a third world planet.
Yeah.
They were mining...
Maybe there's some government things secretly.
Maybe there's some symbolic things there.
The prequels.
Maybe there's maybe there's some symbolism there, and I'd say
that's a whole different video.
I would say there's a very good chance of there being.
Now that you mentioned that, it kind of looked like they were mining in a third world country or planet or whatever.
Yeah, and the whole desert setting and kind of the garb. The technological differences between the two. There's definitely some there, but that's up to a lot of individual interpretation.
Let's not talk politics.
No. I mean, it's good because it's in there, and it seems very on purpose.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think that's its own topic on its own.
Or they just took that as like
we just
as
inspiration.
Inspiration, yeah.
Yeah, that's entirely possible. But anyways, back on point. Saying everyone's a victim of the Empire. The director of the Death Star creation. He's getting pushed around by Tarkin the entire time. Tarkin.
Oh yeah.
He even
this is my baby, not anymore.
Yeah, Tarkin blows up an Imperial city. That was under their occupation. Just because Darth Vader even gets mad at the director. Because they blew up an Imperial city. And he's like, Tarkin did that. It was funny because he goes to Darth Vader and says, the Death Star is mine. And Darth Vader's like, well, interesting thing about that. You blew up an Imperial city. He's like, nah, Tarkin did that, man. And so...
Don't choke on your aspirations.
Oh, yeah, the one-liner. Don't choke on your aspirations. One-liner. But yeah, and I mean... The engineers, they were getting pushed around the whole time. They even all get executed.
It's that whole, it's the whole, the graphic of the birds.
Oh, the birds.
And it's that. You get bullied at the top, they're going to take it out the guy on the bottom.
Yeah.
And it's a whole shitty system, starting with the shitty guy at the top.
Yeah, they definitely made a point that... both internally and externally, that the Empire is doing a lot of bad things, and only a couple of people are really in control and avoiding the bad negative effects of it.
And it showed at the beginning that you can't even run.
Yeah, you can't even run because they bring her dad back into it, and they
were living the hidden on a random planet life. I mean, if they can find you in galaxies, that's pretty insane.
Yeah, they can find you in galaxies hidden on planets that aren't even inhabited. So, clearly. So they're dangerous.
You're doing what they say.
Yeah, so her dad decides, hey, I'm going to work for the Empire, but I'm going to create a weakness in it.
Yeah, but he didn't mention that to anybody before and everybody got the wrong idea.
Yeah, I mean, well, what are you gonna say?
I mean, I guess he could have come up with the plan, later as they were like, "Hey, get out of here!" And they were walking up. He's like, okay, "What do I do? What do I do?" And maybe came up with it.
Well, yeah, I mean,
and then he was like, "Hey, wife, what are you doing? Don't get killed for this." And she's like, "I'm crazy."
Yeah, well, I mean, it's kind of there's a lot of risk involved whenever you decide to tell people.
True. Also, yeah, I guess it could get out.
Your friends, an intercepted message, he's under security. It's very difficult to go and say, hey, I'm going to make a weakness in this. So
that's true.
He didn't say anything until he actually finished it.
Maybe he didn't even know. Maybe he was like, somehow I'm going to screw this up. And he just like went into it, and then as he was making it, he was like, I can put this little hole here.
Yeah. And so
that's another thing. Didn't go too much into him, and I didn't really feel bad for him when he died, and I just didn't. He was just kind of in the movie.
I didn't either. I mean, we just kind of we know as much as Jin knows in it, and she was a little bit.
She didn't know anything.
Yeah, I mean, she knew, this is my dad.
The only thing she did know was and she was wrong about it for however many years.
Yeah, she knew that he was actually a good guy. He was.
Well, like she thought he just went back.
Yeah, she thought he just went back.
And then it's like,
but then finding out that he actually instilled a weakness in it.
Yeah.
For the good of the rebellion, and that hits a nerve with her too. Is what I liked is she almost has a change of heart at this point. Like she wanted to just not be involved at all with the rebellion. But then once she realized that her dad, even in the Empire, was rebelling against it, I think that was a turning point for her.
Yeah.
And I like that changing point.
So, other characters, now that we can spoil, Forrest Whitaker's character.
Oh, yeah. Forgot about him.
I feel very, very strongly about this. I think they should remove him completely from the movie. It made no sense. Like, you could just take him out. The only thing we knew about him was he opened the thing for her and took care, and we only knew he took care of her. It's like she's found alone again after they come back to her story.
Yeah.
And you're like, what the fuck happened to that guy who helped you? And then like, he left me. Oh. And then he's dead. And then you don't know anything else about him.
Yeah, like he was her father figure for a long time. She doesn't feel strongly about him being a father figure.
We don't feel that because
we don't feel that either.
They don't like show any. That's what they should have done. Maybe made him feel more like in the movie. Is like maybe add like little flashbacks of them together, like surviving or whatever they were doing.
Maybe show that,
go into it.
Yeah, because she's not very impressed with him either because he left her stranded at some point. We know that.
Yeah. And
she was very upset about it. I mean, in the beginning, she's found in Imperial prison. So chances are
she did something.
Yeah, I mean, chances are he screwed her over pretty good on that one. So, I mean, we don't really care much for Forrest Whitaker.
Oh god,
no one else.
His acting was like so. Ugh. Every time he spoke, I was like, "Shut up."
It was weird.
It was very breathy and like, I don't believe in you. You're always lying to me. Are you lying to me? Let's feed you to the tentacle monster and put fucking hentai porn and borderline hentai porn into Star Wars. What was that?
Yeah, there's a tentacle monster that's essentially it's
gonna get your information.
It's a lie detector test from the future.
He wasn't lying, but you're gonna lose your mind because this thing makes you lose your mind, and then he lost his mind for 5 minutes. And
Yeah, they remind him of who he is, and his mind comes back.
They didn't remind him of. They said, "Are you the pilot?" And he's like, "I'm the pilot. I'm the pilot.
Oh yeah,
I'm the pilot." And then next scene, he's good.
Yeah, like
it was just so.
At the beginning of the movie, I thought it was all gonna revolve around Forrest Whitaker's character, Saw.
Well, like the trailers and the beginning made it seem like that was gonna be a thing, like that the relationship was gonna be a good part of the movie, and then she would lose him at some point, and he would be, I don't know who told Luke to go to find
Yoda.
Yeah,
Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan. Okay,
yeah, Obi-Wan's ghost.
Gosh, I'm blanking. Yeah, Obi-Wan. What am I even saying now?
I lost
my train of thought.
I don't know. You were going on something deep.
It was deep, man. It was deep, and now I forgot. I was comparing Obi-Wan to one of the characters I was talking about before.
Oh, you're talking about Saw.
Yeah. He could have been like Obi-Wan. He could have been like, hey, your dad's at this place. Go to him. And then he dies, just like Yoda or whatever. And he could have been that, or Obi-Wan. He could have been like that. And then Yoda is her dad, and he gets the information to do this mission to attack Vader or, save defeat the Death Star plans or whatever.
Yeah, like...
It's like that's how I saw it.
Yeah, I mean...
But he did nothing.
Yeah, it felt like they definitely needed something here, and what they had, it worked, but it was definitely paled in comparison to the rest of the movie. Like, Forrest Whitaker's
they needed
arc,
more to take him out. That's just...
his arc, his introduction, was essentially a long-winded introduction to all the different characters and the Empire itself.
Yeah.
Because immediately you get to see the Death Star in action. It focuses on...
As soon as that Death Star killed the city, saw explosion, I'm like, oh, I'm in this movie now. Yeah. And then Forrest Whitaker died, I'm like, hell yes. And then you start watching and everything's like boom, 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 and everything is great. And I love the movie after that.
Yeah, it was like almost a mini movie to introduce the movie itself. Because it was a goose chase at the beginning.
I know, but it just didn't need. They could have got the information from like the pilot where he was and skip Forrest Whitaker. And go to her dad and carry on.
They really could have. I'll admit, Forrest Whitaker's character Saw, he wasn't the most influential. This definitely wasn't Forrest Whitaker's best work.
Oh no! This is like his worst acting ever. I feel like it's just so cringy.
Yeah, I wasn't sure where
it was like. It's like hearing Bane for the first time. You hear him speak, and he's just like, "You're like, what? That came out of him?" But at least you got used to Bane, and it became a funny thing. This was cringy the whole time, and I hated it.
Yeah, I mean,
it was still good though.
Yeah, the whole movie is good. We feel like where people are gonna attack it at. It's definitely at the beginning.
First, second act, or just the first half.
It's definitely at the beginning. Like
after that, it's just that movie's a 10 out of 10 almost.
Yeah, and I mean, and the interesting thing is most Star Wars are really known for a gripping intro, and then kind of a couple of them lull in between.
But filler.
Yeah, this one felt like
it's because it's its own movie.
Yeah, it felt like it lulled at the beginning, but then it ramped up to something insane that we haven't seen before in Star Wars.
Introduce these guys, and they're gonna die by the end, so you gotta make them feel for it.
Oh yeah, and I felt for it. So that'll wrap up our spoiler discussion of Rogue One. So and leave a comment below. Let us know what your favorite part was, what you thought was cool about the movie, if you thought it was good or not. And we'll see you next time.
See you. Bye.
We'll be right back.